Are you threatening me? Alright. Why is being self-reliant the greatest threat you can make to any governing body? Well, simply put, by being self-reliant, you prove that you don't need them. You prove that their existence in that position is inconsequential. In short, you prove they are not necessary. Because as long as they are necessary, in their eyes, they have value. In their eyes, they have control over you. They are the governing. You are the governed. But that's essentially only if you are reliant on them. That is why free-thinking people are a threat. That is why homeschoolers are a threat. That is why MGTOWs are a threat. We are a threat because they cannot control us. They cannot control our actions. We are a threat because we think objectively. At this time, there are people all across the United States that are being persecuted simply because they are becoming self-sufficient. In many areas, it is now illegal to collect rainwater. It is illegal to collect moisture that falls from the sky, whether the government exists or not. There's a woman in Florida at this moment that is going through hell because she dared to get off the grid. She dared to dig her own well for her own water. She dared to put up solar panels and a battery bank for electricity. She dared to grow her own food. Currently, the politicians and the bureaucrats are using some archaic and inane international mandate. This is where Article 6 of the Constitution comes in, everybody. Forcing her, using violence to make her reliant on the public utilities, which is run by a government-mandated monopoly and manned by a public union. We hear time and time again that we need to be self-sufficient. We need to lower our carbon footprint. We need to be less reliant on foreign oil, for example. But when someone actually does it, when someone separates themselves from the control of the governing, they react violently. Why is this? They get drunk on that control. In many ways, if we were to look at the actions of our governing bodies, we would realize they are suffering from mental illness. They are narcissistic in nature, which is usually how they come into power in the first place. And they are codependent. They need you to be reliant on them. This is why we scare them. We prepare. We learn. We gain knowledge. We gain skills. We gain independence. We gain their ire. We are so irksome to them that they will do nearly anything to regain that control. Now, as with anything, they are human, which means if we study humanity, we can predict their responses. With this knowledge, we can control the variables. And by controlling the variables, we can affect the outcome. They are fearful that the populace is going to learn this. They are fearful of people knowing their rights. In case anyone hasn't noticed, the civics class that many of us took in school is now a government class. It's not the same thing. Civics teaches you your rights. You learn the Constitution. You learn the Declaration of Independence. You learn why we broke off of England in the first place. You learn the Federalist Papers, which gives context to the Constitution. And it gives the reasons as to why they put what they put into it. The Virginia Letters, which is the only place where a separation of church and state is mentioned. These are things that are no longer taught. But what is taught is government control. What the government can do for you. What protections the government gives you. What the government allows you. This is why anyone who is striving to become self-reliant and trying to minimize the amount of bleeding of our wealth, our labor, our knowledge into a corrupt system. We are a threat. We are the greatest threat that any government can ever imagine, because we cannot be controlled.